Hey guys, it's Joe Barletta, and today I'm going to share with you 6 easy steps on how to be more effective with your direct mail campaigns. And David Schaff just recently asked me if I would give some tips for you beginner investors out there, or you intermediate investors who are just trying to get started. They want to scale up their game, they want to tighten everything up and just be more profitable and utilizing more effective with direct mail. So the first thing that you're going to want to do as when you're getting started is first think like a business owner, and in order to do that you need to set a budget. When you set a budget, you need to think about how to effectively get the best ROI, or return on your investment. So there's no other industry that I can think of where you can put a couple $100 out there into the universe and potentially have your phone ring, and on the other end of that you have a life-changing deal. Now, this doesn't happen every single day, but there are lots of, aside from those grand slam home runs, there's lots of singles, doubles, and triples that come in with that direct mail. So if you're not utilizing direct mail, you are missing out on a lot of opportunities to be had. So the first thing that you want to do is set a budget that you can realistically, reasonably afford to spend consistently for at least 3 months. You want to be able to give yourself enough time to get a good enough sample size of data to make that educated decision based on these results that you get, that you track and you measure, and you say, sit back and you say, okay, can we change this? Can we make this better? What can we do a little bit different? Or you can decide to get rid of it and just deep six it at all. Okay, so the first step, number one, is have a budget that you can reasonably afford to spend for at least 90 days, 3 months. Give yourself some time. Second step is going to be very, very important, and this one is your list. Now, there's pros and cons to this step. The first is that with the list, there are list providers out there. Okay, now you can very easily go and pay and get a list sent over to you. Very simple. Speed of implementation, great, I love it. But the thing is that because it's so easy and relatively affordable, a lot of people do that. So if you want to stand out, if you want a competitive advantage, I recommend right now that you go down to the town halls. You go down to your building departments. You talk to the building officials. You talk to your town clerk. Learn how the process works. Get access to information that not everybody else is going after or doesn't want to exert the work to find it. Do a little bit of homework on your end. Do some detective work. Get out there. Go down to the town halls. Learn how all those land records are filed. You know, we go after, aside from all the usual, you know, the tax liens and bankruptcies and divorce, we also target sewer liens, water liens, people who don't pay their electric bills, right? There's investors who get stuck, who own multifamily properties, and they've got electric bills that are in tens of thousands of dollars sometimes, and their property gets liened. So these are good, highly motivated people that you can target that may not be as super competitive as all those other lists that are readily attainable, like the absentee owners or pre-foreclosure or whatever. Don't get me wrong, those lists are great. You should mail to those, but you should also be learning the process and the legwork, and not to mention, that's a skill. You want to be more successful? Build your skill sets, okay? So next is setting up the campaign. Now that you have the list, you want to actually think about, plan out how you are going to set that campaign up. What is it going to look like? How many touches are you going to do? So for us, every list that we mail, typically it's a minimum of 6 months, usually 6 months to a year. And over that time frame, we are mailing 6 to 8 times. Okay, so 6 to 8 touches over a course of 6 months to a year. And another component of planning out your campaign is, so you got your frequency, how often you're going to mail it. Is it going to be every, if there's something imminent, if there's a foreclosure coming and you really need to act quickly, or they need to act quickly and you need to hit them up more frequent, you're going to want to do so every 2 weeks instead of every 30 days or 45 days. But really, David Schaff would be best to advise you on how to set up that campaign depending on the list that you're going to mail to. So you've got the frequency, when you're going to mail it. you've got the period of time that you're going to mail it over, and then you want to decide on the piece. Okay, so whether you start with a yellow letter, whether you start with a professional letterhead, or a postcard, whatever. Okay, so any variation of those, mix it up. You never know which one is going to pull best. Over the years, my personal opinion, stat-wise, the handwritten yellow letter in a nice personalized card-style invitation envelope always pulls best over time, just because it piques people's curiosity and it grabs people's attention. So postcards are great. You can, get a lot more bulk and quantity out there, but they also are very quick to just be tossed away. You don't have to worry about them getting opened, but they don't get as much attention. When somebody gets a handwritten, what's looking like an invitation style card in the mail, they're going to open that up. Okay, so Yellow Letters Complete provides great samples of these. If you haven't done so already, be sure to get one of their sample packs to see what they offer. And so think about that. That's how you're going to set your plan up to your campaign. Next is going to be step 4, which is going to be the process, the lead intake process. What does that look like? Okay, so are you going to take the calls live? I recommend 100% taking those calls live all the time. If you're just getting started and you're not doing a lot of volume, then by all means, have those calls go directly to your cell phone. If you're working a full-time job, hey, I get it, I understand. Call them back as quickly as possible. Call them on a coffee break, call them on a bathroom break, call them at lunch, call them as soon as you get out of work. But by all means, do what you can to answer that call live. You never know. Somebody might have 2 letters in front of them and they call you first, and if you don't pick up, they call that next investor and they make the deal. You may have just lost out on the deal of a lifetime. So act with urgency and paranoia. Pick up that phone. So decide on how that call is going to be handled. Make sure you guys have a good lead sheet, okay? A lead sheet is a roadmap to how to handle that conversation, to extract all that good information and uncover the motivation of the seller and determine whether or not you actually got a really good deal on your hands and how to proceed. So have a lead sheet, take the call live. Next is, now that you've got all that set up, you've got your budget set, you've got your list, you've got your plan set, you've got your phone set, you got your lead sheet set. Now it's just a matter of implementing it, getting it out there. So now, if you're just doing really small amounts, it's okay if you want to start out and test it small first, and you're going to do that on your own, but I highly recommend outsourcing that as quickly as possible and utilizing a mail house like Yellow Letters Complete, because it's not the highest and best use of your time, and they provide a really great service and that you're not going to get anywhere else. So for the few dollars that you're going to spend, you're going to be able to do a lot more with it by utilizing a mail house. So implement it. Now that you got it all set, actually get that in the mail. And then that brings us to the 6th step, which is the most important piece of it all: the follow-up, the consistency of it. What you're doing is building a pipeline of leads. You're creating a database, and you spent the money, you've got the letters going out, the phone is ringing, you're making offers. Not all of those offers are going to turn into deals, but you're tracking that. Now, you don't have to have anything really, don't get bogged down in thinking that you need some extensive CRM to track all this. You could do something as simple as just a paper filing system at first with an Excel spreadsheet to track your leads that come in. It doesn't have to be complicated. Don't get bogged down with all the bells and whistles of all these crazy CRMs out there. Not to mention, it just adds another fee to your bottom line each and every month that you have to pay for. So don't worry about that. Just keep it simple right now. It's the most important thing. You never know when somebody is going to be ready for your service. Your job is just to stay in front of them and do it consistently and have that patience. Think like a business owner. Think long term, and be ready to make that offer when they do call. And if they're not ready to take your offer on that day when you do make that offer, then continue to follow up until they tell you to stop calling them, stop contacting them, or the deal sells. That's how you get more deals. So build your pipeline, make lots of offers, and you will get the deals and scale. So guys, I hope this was very helpful for you. I know this was a little bit longer than I wanted it to be, but I hope you got a lot of value out of it. By all means, if you are looking to implement your first direct mail campaign or want to do more with direct mail, use David Schaff and Yellow Letters Complete. If you are looking for more help in scaling your business and how to generate consistent monthly income with real estate investing, check out my website, joebarletta.com. There's tons of free information and blog articles and all that cool stuff. All right, so hope you guys enjoyed this. Have a great day, and thanks for watching.